What's up, guys? Welcome to the Second Take. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jonah.
And we're back for more football. Week 3. Giants are 2-0. Cowboys are 1-1. We're both pretty happy with that. And we got some more fun with NFL picks for you, and we're going to kick it off. Jonah's going to get it started.
Yeah, so we're just going to go through some of the action from last week. I had quite a good picks week.
The only reason we're doing this is because Jonah is beating me. That's why this has to happen.
I know, this is great. You always beat me when we gamble, so...
Recreational purposes only.
Right, exactly. Of course, we're gambling Monopoly money here. But, so I went 5-1 last week. Zach was pretty iffy 2-4 there, which I was week 1, to be fair. But I'm up 8 points to 5 right now. So Zach's got some ground to make up, but I'm sure he's confident as always.
Oh, yes.
So last week, you just go through the games we picked. The first game we picked, which we disagreed on, was the Jets and the Bills, which was last Thursday night. I had the Jets and Zach had the Bills, and the Bills just really looked bad.
I mean, I did say that the Jets were going to win the game. I was just going with the fact that the Bills, for some reason, Rex Ryan beats Fitzpatrick. But they didn't look good, but I also didn't think they were like the worst thing ever. I mean, they put up a good amount of points.
Well, the thing is, they gave up 37 points to the Jets, and they fired their offensive coordinator.
Right.
So I don't really know exactly what's going on in Buffalo, but there's like some major job-saving stuff going on with the Ryan brothers.
Right.
And I don't know how well that's going to work, honestly.
I don't know if you heard it when you were watching the game, but I can't remember who was calling the game either. But at some point,
it was Nance and Sims, wasn't it?
I honestly,
Thursday night.
It's possible, yeah. So it must have been, yeah. So then it was Nance, and he at one point said, and this is paraphrasing, but I don't know if the Bills know this or not, but they don't have to rush 8 guys every time. They can drop their 2 safeties back into coverage. So, like,
wow.
Fitzpatrick...
Some shade from
Nance. I mean, but if Fitzpatrick's going to throw for 374 and, like, you're consistently going to put 8 guys in the box and he's going to tear you apart like that, I mean, every now and again you can drop at least 1 safety, if not 2.
Yeah, I mean, Fitzpatrick isn't, Joe Montana, but, like...
He looked like it.
He can handle the defense when you rush 8 every time.
He is from Harvard. Like, he kind of understands how things work. And
that's true. He can at least read the defense
yeah.
even if he often makes terrible throws after he does
exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I'm liking what I'm seeing from my potential Jets playoff pick.
And
they're 1-1 now, granted, but they played pretty well against Cincinnati. The offense looked good against Buffalo, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, well, if the Patriots keep winning with 3rd and 4th string quarterbacks, you got no shot.
Who are they going to start week 4? It's going to be Edelman, right? They're going to start Edelman at quarterback?
I heard Gostkowski was in the running, but it looks like Edelman's pulling ahead.
Yeah, I'm not ruling anything out. I think they might sign Brett Favre, to be honest with you.
Bill Belichick is quite the cannon, and Jim Harbaugh's looking for a job, too, I heard, so...
Oh, that's low there. They came back last week. They came back. I told you they would.
Yeah, well, looked a little shaky.
They did. They're not climbing in the rankings. They're holding steady at 4 right now, so...
But yeah.
That's fine. We'll show them.
Yeah, what the hell? Maryland's gonna be your first loss, which is gonna be funnier than hell, but...
Oh, okay. We'll see.
3-0, baby.
So the next game we picked last week was Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. I had Pittsburgh, Zach had Cincy, and Pittsburgh won this game at home.
Great game.
Yeah, it was a good game. I think Pittsburgh definitely looked like the better team in that game. I don't know about you, but just like, I didn't watch all of it, but just from what I saw, Pittsburgh looked pretty good. They looked like one of like the 5 or 6 teams that like I really had confidence in as a good team this year. And I don't think they did anything to like change that opinion.
To be honest, I think both of them are really good, and it wasn't necessarily that that Pittsburgh was that much better than Cincinnati. In my opinion, it was just more that they were the better team on that day, and I don't know. Pittsburgh's defense has looked pretty darn good so far, which is always, at least the recent past, been their downfall a little bit after Polamalu and all those guys retired. But Cincinnati still look good in my opinion. If you were going to tell me that Antonio Brown and AJ Green are going to combine for like 70 yards, no touchdowns, I would have told you that it would have been like a 6-3 dogfight, but that didn't necessarily happen, so that was nice to see.
Yeah, we were talking about this last week with respect to the Steelers. They just always find receivers.
Yeah.
And this year, I guess it's like Eli Rogers, who's the guy that they find. But like they always find a new guy every year, which is especially key this year with Martavis Bryant suspended for the whole season. But yeah, I think the Steelers look pretty good, and I think they're going to kick the Eagles' ass this week. That's not one of the games that we're picking, but
yeah, I would agree.
I think that Carson Wentz is going to get himself a nice wake-up call this week. The third game we picked was the Giants and Saints. We both had the Giants, and the Giants did come through.
Yeah.
What's interesting about this game, to me, is that, like, we were talking about this beforehand, like, how, like, maybe 4 times a year there's just, like, the Eli game where he just kind of plays like crap and, like, doesn't, and, like, and usually you lose those games. But you had an Eli game this week and you won it. So
all right, relax with the Eli game. He threw for 350 and no turnover. Or well, he had a fumble, but that's because he got wrecked. But I mean, it wasn't. He didn't play bad. He just didn't. I don't know. We couldn't score for God knows what reason.
I mean, well, first of all, Delvin Breaux broke his leg, and then P.J. Williams, who was replacing him guarding Odell Beckham,
might have died.
Might have literally perished on the field.
We need to check on that, but that was not good.
Somebody should make sure that there hasn't been any funeral services arranged. But, like, this, I don't know, I think it's fair to say you should have scored more than 16 points in that game. But, like, it's fine.
100%.
The Giants have a few of those games every year, and,
yes.
like, you're often fine anyway. So, like, I'm not saying, like, oh, the Giants are done. Like, oh, their offense is terrible. But, like, you're just, I just think you're lucky that you had one of those games and still won it.
The thing I would like to say is that we've now won 2 more games in the last minute than we have all of last year. So that's a positive. We're no longer blowing
you were unlucky
games.
Last year, and maybe you'll swing.
It has a lot to do with the defense. Our defense is a lot better, like extremely noticeably better.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you last year gave up like 50 points to the Saints, and this year you only gave up 13. So you look at it that way too.
Fun fact: this was the first game that the Giants and Saints played in the last 6 games, which I think spanned 14 years or something like that, where the winning team did not score more than 42 points.
Oh my God!
Yes, so there's a 30-point difference right there.
How many games though? Was that 6 games where that happened in a row?
I think it was like 14, or it was something stupid. I mean, yeah, 6 games, 14 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's something.
Yes. So that was nice to see. Even if we didn't score 40, we didn't give up 40, which was shocking.
Yeah, and we didn't pick this game, but I'll just throw in like a little bit of like Cowboys good stuff. We did win our first game last week against the Redskins, who really don't look good. Like,
no, not at all. But I was going to reserve my judgment until the end of this week.
I'm not really loving my Redskins playoff pick here, as we'll talk about in a second.
Should have stuck with Sam Bradford. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, so speaking of Sam Bradford, another game we picked was the Sunday night game last week, the Packers and Vikings. We both picked Green Bay.
And they're shocked.
That was my only loss of the week, by the way. But the Vikings kind of shocked the world and pulled it out. Sam Bradford was good. I mean, they only scored 17 points, but he certainly had a good game.
Yeah, he had a really good game.
The thing with, I mean, we spent enough energy talking about Sam Bradford on this podcast, so I'm not gonna belabor the point too much. I think with Sam Bradford, he's a guy where like a lot of people want him to be good, you know, and so when he has a good performance, everyone's like, "See, Sam Bradford, he's great." But like, I'm gonna wait and see a little bit. The Packers don't look so good right now, so I'm very curious to see how he does against Carolina this week. I'm not saying that he'll do bad, but like I think that's gonna tell a lot about him is how he plays this week.
That conversation sounds really familiar. Did we have that like, I don't know, 2 days ago, 3 days ago?
What?
That conversation, like what you just said, that sounded really familiar. I feel like we might have discussed that or something.
Yeah, I think it's possible. We had a Sam Bradford conversation recently. I swear to God, 3 times a week, it's just the Sam Bradford debate. We're like, how did we get here?
Jonah promised me that if the Vikings make it to the playoffs and Sam Bradford does at least well enough to be like, wow, he led them to the playoffs, that he will say that he's at least a decent quarterback.
Yeah, I will. We'll see. I mean, they started off 2-0, so.
And they lost Adrian Peterson, so now it's literally Sam Bradford and Stephon Diggs, and that's all you got, plus the great defense. But
all right, my hot take here is that the Vikings are better off without Adrian Peterson. I'm just gonna say it.
It's completely possible. It could be debated, and we can save that for a later date if you'd like.
Yeah, I just think, I don't know, like McKinnon is not dramatically worse, and he fits better in their offense, I think.
I don't even know that, like, when Matt Asiata got, I think, 8 touches when Peterson was out, and McKinnon only had, like, 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think because, I don't know, it's hard to say exactly what they're trying to do, but McKinnon got most of the snaps when Peterson was out last year.
Right.
So, like, I mean, we'll see exactly how they balance the carries, but it'll be interesting to see.
So what's the last one we picked was?
Well, we had our locks and our upsets.
Right.
We both picked Carolina over San Francisco as our lock, and Carolina did win that one.
That was a nail biter for a few minutes, but they pulled it out.
Yeah, Blaine Gabbert is looking a little feisty.
It started with a stupid Cam Newton interception. He's terrible so far. I know he threw for 4 touchdowns and 400 yards. I get that, but like he hasn't looked good.
Is this the year of the Blaine Gabbert renaissance?
No.
Is this gonna happen?
No.
Like, is he better than Ryan Tannehill?
I thought you were about to say Sam Bradford, and I was getting ready to jump to the phone. Is he better than Ryan Tannehill? Wow.
Just like as an example of like a very mediocre quarterback. Like,
wow. Is he better than Ryan Tannehill?
Because Gabbert was on some really bad Jaguars teams a few years ago. Like maybe
he's on a really bad 49ers team right now.
He has like live bodies blocking in front of him. Like maybe he could be as good as like, I don't know, he could be like the 20th best quarterback in the league on a good year.
All right, well,
maybe.
His completion percentage is like barely 50%, so I don't know about that. He's also.
I mean, they started him over Kaepernick.
Yeah, but like, it's Chip Kelly. Like, what does he know?
Yeah, and we know Chip Kelly doesn't like black people, right? Wasn't that the story with the Eagles?
Except he did just back Colin Kaepernick, so like, who really knows?
Did, which is good on him. I think he had to do some PR containment there. He's like, I can't be against Kaepernick right now.
No, it's just everyone's focused on Kaepernick, so people forget he's even coaching in the NFL. He had to get his name back in the spotlight a little bit.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, we do not like Chip Kelly. And then for our upsets, you had Tampa Bay.
Oh, yeah, that one hurt.
Yeah.
I did say it was either going to be a blowout or the Bucs were going to beat them, so like at least I kind of got right.
I mean, yeah, I don't think this means that the Bucs are like a really bad team or anything.
No.
I think they were just feeling really good after week 1, and Arizona was like, all right, well, this is a game we got to win now.
They caught Arizona at a really bad time.
Yeah. And I had Tennessee over Detroit, which...
Lucky, that's what you got.
Yeah. Tennessee was not the better team in that game.
Andre Johnson laying on his back makes a catch in the end zone for your stupid 2 points and 3 points better than me.
The Lions are just... I think Jim Caldwell is probably the worst coach in the NFL.
I think Matt Stafford deserves so much credit so far because... Honestly, this team should be 0-2, and realistically, they should be 2-0. But if you look at the stats so far and the numbers and everything,
yeah.
Stafford has a lot of touchdowns. I think. What does he have? 4.
It's just inexcusable to me that they didn't fire Jim Caldwell.
Yeah.
He's just like a warm body on the sideline. I mean, the camera pans over to him, and it's like he's just like a stuffed animal standing there. It's insane. He doesn't move. He doesn't speak. I'm not positive he's alive.
Well, in defense, they are playing above their potential currently.
The Lions?
Yes.
No, yeah, the Lions aren't that good. I mean, we'll see with the Green Bay game this week, although there's the variables of how good Green Bay is, really, but...
It's still very early for us to be deciphering.
Right. I mean, this is like, overreact in September month here.
Right. Naturally. We play Monday morning quarterback literally every single day of the week.
Oh, absolutely. All week we just text each other hot takes. It's the whole, that's all September is. It's just like
that's all our life is. We do that in summer, we do that in the winter, we do that in the fall, spring.
All the time. Like whether we're watching the draft, watching the NBA, like whatever. It's just like hot take. It's like the Dolphins are gonna win the Super Bowl. I just like text you like what? Why did I send that?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's enough on last week, I think.
Yep.
We got a fun little thing here in the middle before we go on to next week. I was looking at this online sports book for legal gambling, and they had a bet that I thought was interesting. So there are 8 teams right now that are 0-2, and that's the Browns, the Jaguars, the Dolphins, the Bills, the Colts, the Redskins, the Saints, and the Bears. And they put the over/under at 1.5 of those teams making the playoffs. So I'm asking you, would you go over or under 1.5 of those teams making it?
That's a really perfect number because there's not going to be more than 2. I can guarantee you that. And then there's 3 teams that I'm looking at that potentially could do it. So for me, it's between the Saints, the Jaguars, and the Redskins. The Redskins have looked really bad. The Jaguars looked atrocious last week, but looked decent week 1. And they're playing in what I consider a weak division. And the Saints, just to rattle off some names here, the Saints play the Falcons, Chargers, Panthers, Chiefs, Seahawks, 49ers, and Broncos over the next 6-7 weeks. There's some difficulty with the Panthers, Seahawks, and Broncos, and even the Chiefs, but after that, it's still hard. So, the Saints are better than you thought. I know they are, and
yeah, they are.
They can win games. Like they lost to us by 3, and they lost to the Raiders by 1 on a 2-point conversion.
I just don't think they could afford to start 0-2. I just don't think they could afford that.
Right, but they
look better than I expected for sure.
I could easily see them getting to 2-2, beating the Falcons and the Chargers the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
With that being said, as badly as I want to say over, I'm going to say under, and I'm going to put it at 1, and I'm going to put it with Jacksonville.
I'm going to say under as well. For the Browns, Dolphins, Bills, and Bears, I think there's virtually no chance those teams make it.
Right.
The Colts, it's possible just because of that division. The problem is they're already 2 games behind Houston, and so is Jacksonville. Houston already has a 2-game lead.
Right.
And they already played Kansas City and beat them. So they're looking pretty decent. So it's possible, but I think between Jacksonville, Indy, Washington, and New Orleans, I'd say probably all of those teams have about a 25% chance, and that makes me lean toward 1 or 0 of those teams to make the playoffs. I think.
Pick one.
If I have to pick one, I guess I'll stick with the Redskins because I already did that.
I stuck with the Jaguars, so what the hell.
But I don't really think the Redskins will probably make the playoffs. They did start 2-4 last year to make it, so
right.
It's possible. But
all right, next.
And so then the opposite side of that bet is you look at the teams that are 2-0, right? So right now it's the Patriots, the Texans, the Broncos, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Giants, the Vikings, and the Eagles. The over/under for how many of those will make the playoffs is 6.5. So it's basically the same. It's just the absolute reverse bet. So I'll go first on this one. I'm going to say under 6.5. I think definitely 2 of these teams are missing the playoffs. I can tell you one that I still think is going to miss the playoffs is the Eagles. I don't really see them making it. And I think that between the Ravens, the Giants, the Vikings, and the Texans, I think it's pretty safe to say one of those teams will also miss the playoffs. So I'm going to say under 6.5 of those teams make it.
Yeah, I'm going under also, and as I just briefly looked through, I would say, I think I'm going to have 4. I would have the Patriots at 2-0. I would have the Patriots, Vikings, Giants, and Steelers are the 4 teams that I would have going that are 2-0 right now.
Yeah, just to eyeball it, I think, just for my first guess, I think probably 6 of those teams make it.
There's no chance in my mind the Ravens make the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't see the Ravens or the Eagles making it. I think New England will. I think Houston will. I think Denver and Pittsburgh will. I think the Giants will. And I can pretty easily see the Vikings doing it at this point. I mean, we'll see. They've had other injuries besides Peterson and Bridgewater, too. I mean, Sharif Floyd just had surgery. Matt Khalil's out now, so they have a lot of injury problems. But even if they do make it, I still think the ceiling of number of those teams making it is 6.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, so you want to go to next week's picks here?
That works for me. You want to kick it off since you're the lead dog
Yeah, sure.
currently?
Yeah, since I'm winning right now, as you so graciously pointed out. The first game that we're going to pick this week is tonight's game, which is Houston at New England.
Jacoby Brissett, welcome to the NFL.
Yes, the first black quarterback the Patriots have ever started. This is a fun fact I learned today. So there's now only one team left in the league which has never started a black quarterback.
The G, man!
So, I know you're trying to get your hands on Deshaun Watson to break that streak, but
Yes, that's correct.
But yeah, so it's going to be not the NFL debut for Brissett because he played in last week's game when Garoppolo got hurt, but it's his first NFL start.
Played well, might we add.
Yeah, and I mean Garoppolo was really good. I mean,
Really good.
he has really looked excellent. I don't know if he's just going to be like the same thing that happened with Matt Castle, like filling in for Brady and then them trading him for a first-round pick. Like I can see that in my head already.
Making like $75 million, same thing with Matt Flynn.
Right, yeah. Oh, jeez, that Matt Flynn contract.
Maybe your first name needs to be Matt. Maybe that's how it works. If your first name's Matt and you play decent as a backup in like 2 games, you make $100 million.
Well, yeah, I mean, guys that back up really good quarterbacks just get these good reputations. It's really weird. But Garoppolo was just so good in the game and a half that we saw that, like, I'm intrigued to see how good he can be.
Oh, yeah.
But Brissett wasn't bad either. He wasn't awesome. But, like, I think he could be decent in this game for sure. And they're at home, too. So I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Damn it.
I think Belichick has tricks up his sleeve. I like the Texans a good amount, as I've said. But I don't know. Belichick is a wizard, as we've established. He'll run some plays where Edelman plays quarterback. He just will. And so I'm excited to see how that unfolds. I'm picking the Patriots.
Yeah, so the only reason I'm picking the Patriots is because of a guy named Bill, which Jonah just talked about. Jacoby Brissett, going into the draft, I think was like the 6th or 7th rated quarterback by most scouts. Some people thought he would be undrafted. The Patriots went and got him in the 3rd round. I saw a few games of his in college. He can definitely throw the ball around, and
Belichick must have seen something.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Exactly. So.
And like, we know enough to trust Belichick when he sees something.
Yeah, it's like what we talked about in the NBA podcast with, like, the Spurs went up to get Dejounte Murray.
Exactly.
Like,
right.
You just know he's going to be good for the Spurs. So, yeah, I think the Patriots will win this game. I think Jacoby Brissett's going to play really well, actually. He was 6 of 9 for 92 yards, I think, when he came in. They didn't play well when he came in, but, like, he played well. I just don't think that the Patriots secondary is like sneaky good. Like Logan Ryan's legit. Malcolm Butler's awesome. McCourty's great. And Osweiler, I think, is going to turn it over a couple too many times. And I think that's what's going to be the difference. So I got the Patriots.
Yeah, Osweiler is kind of funny.
Sucks.
Like,
he sucks.
He's like,
Brian Hoyer is
you
better.
look at him with your head turned one side and he looks really good, and then you kind of tilt it the other way and he looks really bad. And like he makes some throws where you're just like, wow. But he also makes mistakes. And I think that the Patriots are going to be a team that can punish those.
Oh, yeah. And Gronk
yeah.
potentially is playing. We still don't really know, but...
Yeah, I'd like to know that because we're taping this
No, that's
2 hours before the game.
No, you know how the Patriots work. Like, as the captains come out for the coin toss, we'll know what happens.
They will tell you as little as humanly possible.
Right. We still don't... I mean, Jacoby Brissett might only play the first snap, and we'll have Edelman play the rest of the game. Who really knows?
No, yeah, I mean, I'm not ruling it out. He might just want to start the black quarterback.
All right, who we got next?
The next game is Denver at Cincinnati.
Okay.
You want to go first on this one?
Sure. So Cincinnati's favored by 3.5. The game is... Where's the game? The game is in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's going in 1-1, just coming off the loss to the Steelers, where they look decent, and the Broncos are coming in at 2-0 and have looked pretty darn good with Trevor Siemian. Defense is unreal. Von Miller is like a freak, more than we already knew, which is saying a lot. However, I really like the Bengals in this game.
Yeah, I'm also picking the Bengals here. We agree again.
I just think they're flat out better.
Yeah, I mean, this is Simeon's first road game. He's playing like a good team on the road, which he's obviously played well against the Panthers. That was certainly a high-pressure game, but the Bengals are good. We both agree on that. Their defense is solid. And I just think that, I don't know, I can see Simeon having a tough game here. I don't think he's bad, but yeah, I just think that it's going to be a tough environment for him to play in.
Yeah, I agree. That defense is so good. Both defenses are so good. It's gonna be. I think it'll be a good game, fun to watch. 3.5 is a little high. I think it should be a little bit lower, but
yeah, I'd probably take the Broncos against the spread, but
it would be close.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game. So next game on the list is the long-awaited Redskins at Giants game.
Ugh. Yeah.
Josh Norman's long-awaited return to MetLife Stadium.
Yeah, so word on the street is he's actually going to take his $75 million and spread it around a little bit and move and follow Odell, except for when he plays the slot. So thank God for that, because he sucks anyways.
Yeah, I'm glad that the Redskins finally grew a pair and told to guard the best receiver on the other team when they're paying $75 million. But
so the thing that I love about this game is that everyone's going to talk about Odell and Josh Norman, and like rightly so after what the shenanigans that went on last year. But I want to know who's going to cover Victor Cruz and Sterling Shepard, because good luck. Sterling Shepard was really good last week. Like I think he had 118-ish, plus or minus a few yards.
He scared the hell out of me last week.
Yes.
In a way that you would enjoy.
Yes, he's quite good. He's going to be legit. And that's fine and dandy. Odell is Odell, although he's had a slow start by his standards. He still has like 170 yards receiving or something.
It's funny for a guy. I mean, I'm like, obviously, I will admit as much as the next guy how great Odell Beckham is, but it's funny for a guy with as good hands as he has.
How many passes he drops that are
drops.
Right? Are you referring
against the Cowboys? That was like rightly immortalized.
Right.
He just has a few passes a year that are just surefire touchdowns just fall right through his hand.
I'm telling you, he's better with one hand. I don't know what it is, if one of them like gets there first and deflects it or something, but he's far better with one hand. Because I don't know if you saw last week, but he dropped a pass that would have been a touchdown on the Giants' last drive.
That would have put the game away, yeah.
Honestly, I think it might have helped us win, because if we scored, they still had like 2 minutes. They could have easily scored.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not mad about it, but I'm kind of mad about it. But yeah, so I'm expecting a huge game from him, knock on wood, but I also am really nervous about this game One, because I don't want the Giants to overlook them, like, oh, they're 0-2, we're 2-0, which is a classic staple of the Giants organization. Secondly, they're hungry and want to win because they're 0-2 and they're defending champions. And thirdly, I'm afraid that something's people are gonna get hung up in this Odell Norman battle, and I don't know. We also still don't know who our right tackle is gonna be, so that's fun.
Oh, you couldn't figure out Newhouse? That wasn't.
He's hurt.
That wasn't doing it for you.
He was decent. They've been talking about how he was been good, but now he has a strained calf, and it's looking like he won't play. So we don't know if Beatty will be ready, or if we have to go Bobby Hart. So we'll figure that out, I guess. I hope we figure that out. But that's right. I mean, that person is blocking Ryan Kerrigan, so like it is pretty important we figure that out.
Boy, if it's Bobby Hart, Ryan Kerrigan's gonna have 14 sacks.
Yeah, well, 14's better than 15, so.
So you're picking the Giants, I take it.
Yeah, but reluctantly.
All right, this is the third straight week that the Giants game has been one of the games we picked.
Because they're the best.
But I am picking the Redskins for a couple of reasons.
Hurt in the heart.
One is that I want to piss you off. That's one reason. Another reason is that we have to disagree on at least one of these games, and this is the one where I'm comfortable doing it. And two are reasons that you said before. I think that the Giants coming in 2-0 and the Redskins coming in 0-2 is a little bit of a recipe for disaster for the Giants. I think that Beckham will certainly be motivated against Josh Norman, but I could see that the Giants kind of sleepwalking through the first half of this game.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
Just having trouble getting up for it and overlooking the Redskins because of how bad they've been so far. There's still a lot of good players on this Redskins team. And this isn't like a slam dunk pick for me or anything, but I think the Redskins are going to really get up for this game, and I'm not sure that the Giants will.
Yeah, so picking with my heart, I picked the Giants, obviously. Picking with my head, honestly, it would be a coin flip for me. I could easily see the Redskins beating us, but I'm about to talk myself into it right now, into the Giants winning. So their defense is far better than it has been in quite some time. So the fact that the defense, if the offense starts slow, like I actually expect to happen, and like Jonah just predicted as well, the defense is good enough to at least hold on to the coattails where we can be in shouting distance. If not, and then if we are in shouting distance, the offense is high-powered enough to outscore in the second half big time, the Redskins. Secondly, Eli and the offense has not been good yet. Eli has, let me give you a quick number. He threw for like 350 last game, but Eli has thrown for 575 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. To put that in perspective, Kirk Cousins has thrown for 693 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Kirk hasn't looked good, if you ask me. You can see that by 3 interceptions. I don't think they have any running game. Matt Jones is a joke. I've always thought he's a joke. So I think if you look across the board, the Giants are better at pretty much every position. It's just a matter of can they put the game together. And if they do, I fully expect the Giants to blow out the Redskins if they can put the game together.
Yeah, no, I think all of what you just said is true. It just kind of feels in my gut to me like a trap game.
Right, absolutely. And I completely agree with that.
All right, so the last game that we're both picking here is the Sunday night game this week, which is...
Oh, who put that on Sunday night? I need to talk to those people.
Yeah, I mean, geez, I'm a fan of one of these teams, and this is like an atrocious game to play on Sunday night.
After the Bears just played on Monday night, how many more primetime games are we going to have to watch? Freaking Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, geez. Right, because, yeah, whatever. So the game is, if you haven't already gathered, the Chicago Bears at my Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are 7-point favorites, which always makes me nervous. But we are facing Brian Hoyer as Jay Cutler sprained his thumb.
And he's out for life.
Yeah, Jesus. Freaking Jay Cutler. I can't believe... I almost talked myself into this team making the playoffs. I'm really so glad I didn't do that. Yeah, I held off there. I'm like a drug addict that was like about to like relapse, and then I just stopped myself. I'm very proud. Because I always am too high on the Bears, and then I remember that Jay Cutler is the quarterback of this team. But yeah, so enough about the Bears. Dallas Cowboys are in this game.
They are?
Yeah, apparently they are playing in this game. Yeah, I think I don't think the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs, but it wouldn't shock me. Like, they've looked, especially the defense has looked better than I thought it possibly could to this point. And the offense has been like about what I expected with Prescott at quarterback. I mean, he's not setting the world on fire, but he's competent. And the running game looks really good, even if Ezekiel Elliott hasn't been that good, because Alfred Morris
has been far better.
Really good, yeah. I mean, maybe the Cowboys' offensive line just blocks really well for like older guys that you thought were washed up. Like, speaking of Darren McFadden here, but yeah, I mean, I don't care who's running the ball as long as they're doing it well. And the Cowboys are definitely bringing out that strong running game. I think that the Bears' defense is just really weak. I think we could score a lot of points this week. I'm going with the Cowboys in this one.
Yeah, the Bears are trying to set a record for worst quarterback tandem of starter and backup, and like the duo that can turn the ball over the most, because like Jay Cutler's little brother is basically Brian Hoyer. They have the same gunslinging interception mentality for some reason. Also, all right. So the only thing that freaks me out about Dallas in this game is that obviously you're playing Brian Hoyer, so like it can't be that bad. But Alshon Jeffrey has 9 catches for 201 yards. That's 70 more yards than Cole Beasley has on 4 less catches, and Beasley's your leading receiver. So obviously Alshon Jeffrey's a freak. Everyone knew that going into the game. Everyone knew that last year. Everyone always has known that. You have Morris Claiborne, Brandon Carr, and a semi-healthy Orlando Scandrick, I think.
Yeah, I don't know how 100% he's going to be, but
yeah,
we'll see.
So if Orlando Scandrick's the best cover corner you have, and you know that. So if you have a slowed or hampered Orlando Scandrick trying to cover a 6'3" beast in Alshon Jeffrey, that's really scary. However, Brian Hoyer is the one delivering that football.
Right, exactly. That's the only thing that makes me not super incredibly nervous.
So Dak Prescott has been, in my opinion, he's been everything he needs to be. He's thrown for 500 yards, no turnovers. He ran for a touchdown, hasn't thrown for one yet, but he's been exactly what you need him to be. And you guys are just better than Chicago, so for that reason, as much as it sucks, I have to go with the Cowboys. Except 7.5 is a lot of points, if you ask me.
Oh yeah, that line's way too high. They're gonna find a way to make this game as excruciating as humanly possible.
Yeah, but you're gonna win. Don't worry. You have Dan Bailey.
I do think we'll pull this one out.
Yes, you have Dan Bailey.
Right, Dan Bailey, the MVP of the league.
Yes, greatest kicker of all time.
I love that guy. So, all right. So, do you want to do our locks for this week? Yeah,
first I have to find one. But yes.
Okay, so I'll go first then. There's a bunch of high point spreads this week. The Dolphins are favored by 9.5. The Seahawks are favored by 9.5. The Panthers by 7. The Packers by 7. I don't love any of those though. Like, I mean, like I see why those lines are all high, but like I pick the underdog against the spread in all of those games. So my lock this week, I'm actually going with Arizona. They're playing at Buffalo. I just think that I don't like picking road teams for my locks, but the Bills look like they're in total disarray right now, and the Cardinals really seem like they got their shit together last week against the Bucs. So I think they're going to make pretty short work of the Bills this week.
Here's my weekly attempt to talk you out of your pick. So, as much as I love the Cardinals, and I would also pick the Cardinals to win the game, the only thing that scares me is they're going across country to play a 1 o'clock game on the East Coast.
That's true. You're right.
But they're still better than the Bills, and they still should beat the Bills. But whatever. I had to talk John out of it just a little bit. Can't believe I'm about to say this, but my lock this week is going to be the Oakland Raiders. Yes, the Oakland Raiders.
They're underdogs this week.
Stunning. As stunning as it is.
I mean, they shouldn't be underdogs, but
Yeah, Oakland's playing Tennessee. It's basically a pick 'em, but they're technically 1.5 point underdogs. I think they're definitely better than Titans. I don't know about you, but the Titans have been good. I think a lot of this, I don't know. I think people thought the Lions are a lot better than they are, and the fact that the Titans beat them makes people think the Titans are a lot better than they are, and blah, blah, blah. But Oakland is no joke either. They had a really good win against the Saints, and honestly, they should have beat the Falcons. They had a little bit of a tough game, but they didn't play poorly, in my opinion. So, for that reason, I'm going to Oakland.
yeah, I mean, just a couple worries with the Raiders. They
Is this you giving me back what I just gave you?
yeah, kind of. I think their defense hasn't really looked good.
It's been horrible.
Defense.
It's been bad.
I mean, they did beat the Saints, but they gave up 35 points, and the defense in particular really shit the bed against the Falcons last week. So I think that there's concerns there. I think there's a similar concerns with what you said with Arizona. They're not going as far as Buffalo, but it's still a West Coast team going to Tennessee for a 1 o'clock game, so you have similar concerns.
Same thing, yep.
I think the Bills are probably better than the Titans, but I think the Cardinals are also better than the Raiders.
Right.
So I think that kind of balances out. I do think the Raiders will win that game. Just some thoughts on that, I guess.
Yeah, but they are giving up over 300 yards a game passing, but luckily Marcus Mariota doesn't have that many weapons, so that helps me rest a little bit easier.
Well, he has a sitting Andre Johnson.
And a somewhat overweight Delaney Walker.
Yeah, Delaney Walker is perpetually somewhat overweight.
But he's quite good.
Yeah, he is. I mean, Vince Wilfork was pretty good for a while. So.
Hey, he's still alive, I think, right?
He's making his return to Foxborough.
Ah, yes, he is. There we go.
So, with the upset,
yeah, where are you going here?
You can't pick a team that we already picked as one of the main games, right?
That was the rules, yeah.
Right, because then you'd be able to make a lot of points off one game.
Right.
So I would pick the Redskins because they're 4.5 point underdogs, and I have them picked to win the game. But since I can't do that, my upset pick, which I don't love any of the options this week, but I'm going with the Rams at Tampa Bay.
Ooh.
I know I picked the Rams as a team that would definitely not make the playoffs. The Rams aren't good. Let's be real. I mean, they've scored. They've scored 9 points in 2 weeks.
Yes. Only team not to be above double digits.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to win this game, but I don't think Tampa Bay is super good. I didn't really like any of the other options besides the Redskins, and I thought I'd take a chance on this one.
Are you sitting down?
Yeah, I'm sitting.
Sam Bradford.
Yeah, I know.
Taking the
I
Vikings.
thought about doing that, but I couldn't do it because it's Sam Bradford.
Yeah, for me it was between the Vikings, the Lions, and the Browns, and obviously if you just listen to 3 teams I just named, 2 of them are atrocious, so I had to go with the team that was the best.
Yeah, you tried the Browns week 1, and
yeah, and I mean 9.5 to they're underdogs by 9.5 to a Dolphins team that's 0-2 and has looked terrible.
Well, that spread is way too high. Even if Cody Kessler's at
right
quarterback and Corey Coleman isn't playing,
right, and Josh Gordon's still suspended, they literally have nothing.
Yeah, seriously.
It honestly might be too low, now that I think about it. Their defense is terrible. Their offense is garbage. They have Cody Kessler. They have no wide receiver.
I think Ryan Tannehill's going to find a way to keep this game close.
Yeah, but, I mean, I still don't think the Browns are going to win, and I think Aaron Rodgers will play good enough to beat the Lions, so for that reason I have to go with the Vikings. 7-point underdogs to Carolina. Do you know where that game is? In Carolina, possibly?
Yeah.
Yeah, in Carolina.
Boy, Vegas kind of likes Sam Bradford because I'm surprised that line's not higher.
Dude, they're 2-0 and they just beat the Packers.
I know. I mean, I think it's fine, but I'm surprised that, I don't know, the gambling people, whoever they are.
He's not bad. He just played really well against the Packers.
Yeah, I guess.
He threw for 286 and 2 touchdowns. I mean, what more do you want him to do? if he can do that again and their defense plays just as good as they did against the Panthers, they could easily be in the game.
Yeah, no, they could.
However, the problem is the Giants play them the week after they play the Panthers, so like if they could maybe take a few steps back, that would be great.
Right, yeah, you want to really play their hearts out this week.
Yes.
So they're tired.
Right. But yeah, so Jonah's up by 3, which means I need to get some movement. And the only thing that I have the lock. We have the lock and upset different. And then what do I have different than you?
The Giants game.
Oh, right. Oh, God. All right. So I need the Giants, my lock, and the upset, and I'll be back up by, or we'd be tied, right?
We'd be tied, yeah.
All right. We can make it happen.
Well, right. If my lock loses, then you'd be up. But
right. So then, also to continue what we did last week with picking one team each week that we don't think is going to make the playoffs. Last week I picked the
Chargers and Browns. Picked the Browns week 1.
Okay, so I picked the Chargers and Browns. Is that it so far?
Yeah.
Okay. And you picked Browns and
the Rams, who I picked as an upset this week, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean the Chargers blew out the team I said was going to win the AFC South last week, so.
Right.
This week.
Geez, that was a weird game.
Yeah, that was terrible. Let's just breeze over that, act like it didn't happen. This week, I'm going with the Chicago Bears, being that they have Brian Hoyer starting. God knows when Jay Cutler is going to be back, and they're not that good. And their running backs are terrible.
Got any more ands?
Yeah, I'm trying to get one more in.
Yeah, I'm also going to write off the Bears this week.
Oh, I got one. Lamar Houston's on IR. There we go.
Oh, yeah, there's another.
Matt Barkley's on their active roster. Should I continue?
I saw that. I love it. It's great. This is like the week of like.
Speaking of which, how many USC quarterbacks are backup quarterbacks in the NFL?
Oh yeah.
If you included Cody Kessler.
Right, because there's Kessler, there's Matt Castle. He's a USC quarterback.
Matt Barkley, Mark Sanchez.
Right.
Matt Leinart, is he even breathing still?
I don't think he's in the league anymore.
I don't either, but. Carson Palmer's a starting quarterbback. That doesn't count.
Carson Palmer's a starter. It just feels like
there's many.
Yeah, like they might just breed backup quarterbacks. I think Cody Kessler is kind of good. I liked him a lot in college. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being a competent NFL quarterback. I mean, I'm not saying it'll definitely happen, but that he's like the answer for the Browns. But like, I could see him being not terrible.
Yeah, I mean, but he doesn't have much to work with, so it doesn't really count.
So my hopes are not high for right now. But.
Until Josh Gordon comes back week 5, so we'll see then.
Right, exactly. Yeah, once he has somebody to work with.
All right, are we forgetting anything?
I think that's it. We got our picks for the week.
Beautiful. Is there any good college football games on?
This week. Oh yeah, hold on. I had this up.
Georgia Ole Miss, that's decent.
Yeah, Georgia Ole Miss is a solid game. Florida Tennessee is like the all-time underachiever matchup there. But somebody has to win it, so they're going to fight hard to lose it. But somebody win that one. Wisconsin Michigan State we got this week. That's a solid game.
Stanford UCLA, I'm extremely intrigued by that one.
Christian McCaffrey versus Josh Rosen.
Yes.
And then
I don't think that's going to go your way.
Texas A&M's happening. That's 2 ranked teams. So
can we just talk about how Christian McCaffrey is the leading receiver and rusher on Stanford right now?
I've never seen anything like him before.
Like if they could just let him throw the ball, he might lead in all 3 categories.
What's like is he on NFL radars?
Oh yes. You know he's going to go to New England. He's going to become the greatest player in the history of the NFL, and everyone's going to be pissed off the rest of their life.
Are they drafting him for a position, or are teams just going to say you're an offensive player?
Currently on draft boards, I think McShay and Kuiper had him as like the 3rd best running back behind Fournette and Dalvin Cook, I want to say.
Yeah, I mean Fournette is. Did you see his stiff arm against the Mississippi State guy last week?
Yeah, they're still
threw the guy through the field.
They're still looking for that guy. They haven't found him yet.
He's like several feet underground.
He bounced his head off. That should be a flag. I don't know for what.
I mean,
Just
I
hurt.
don't know if anyone's ever got a concussion from hitting the ground after getting stiff armed, but
That's like a Michael Orr blindside kind of thing where they throw a flag for excessive blocking just because like you feel like something's wrong with it, but you don't know what it is.
Right, exactly. It's just like, yeah, I mean, it had to be something, right? You
Yeah.
know? But, I don't know, Fournette is he's like the most complete college running back since maybe Adrian Peterson.
And I would 110% take Christian McCaffrey over him.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
No, I would take Deshaun Watson and Christian McCaffrey. Like, if either of them want to play for the Giants, I'll be more than happy to give away my life savings. Which is not much, but still, it could get something. It could be like a 5% of the signing bonus or something.
Yeah, I mean, they could probably use your help.
We'll see. All right.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by NFL Christian McCaffrey. I'm intrigued by the possibility.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's going to look like, but it'll be interesting.
Saturday night, 8 o'clock on ABC, Stanford, UCLA. I highly suggest you should check it out. Actually, they have UCLA favored to win, which is kind of shocking to me. Do you want to go? Tickets are only $46. Should we try to get a plane?
Out to California, I'm down.
What the hell?
Yeah, we should do that. I can take the bus to Boston. I'll fly out of Boston. You can fly out of Baltimore, and then we'll just meet up there.
Sure, wherever it stops. Probably Chicago or something. We can meet each other.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds good.
Beautiful. All right, we'll arrange that. All right, so instead of planning our vacation, we will get off our podcast, and we will see you next week. Thank you for listening, and hopefully the Giants 3-0 next time, and maybe the Cowboys can be 1-2. Who really knows?